So here we see the match stats. Well, handling errors pretty much even Stevens, but it's a tackles made 62 to 52 and 9 missed tackles to the 5 of Paarl Roos. That'll be a real concern for Paarl boys. Possession also not in favor of the visitors, and the home side will be looking for more of the same come the back 35 minutes of this contest.
Well, Paarl boys will have to also find some consideration for their scrumming, because they really have been pushed back in the scrums on many occasions. And so it will be Kian Meaden to get the second half underway. It's not a great kick in. Hasn't gone 10 meters. Not a good start that for the visitors.
Well, the worst possible start for Paarl boys. You would have thought the option of kicking it deep into the 22 and try getting a line out inside that Paarl Roos half, and it was short of the 10-meter mark from the restart. He's given possession to Paarl Roos in a favorable attacking position.
Fine.
With a blind side to work with here. And don't be surprised if you see an 8-9 movement.
Well, and a great scrum too. So Boerta, Mostert. Van der Westhuizen brought down by that tackle.
No hand 6.
From Nathan Besaidenout.
Step back.
Paarl boys Paarl Roos have been happy in this match to use the strength of their forwards. This time it hasn't worked for them. Well, there's Tim van Rensburg's kick's gone straight out of touch. He apologizes to his team. That's what they don't want. They want to play rugby outside of their half of the field.
Well, 2 mistakes in a minute by the half-back pairing of Paarl boys. There's just the energy sapper that their forwards don't want. And it'll be JJ Kotzer to feed the line out.
No knock-on on that occasion. Zander Boerta, Johan Mostert. Well, that was a forward pass. So a number of errors from both teams early in this second half, such as this contest.
Ek straf die volgende leer. Sal die volgende leer straf.
Oh, I thought I heard Rusty Rashavenga speaking Afrikaans with an Australian accent.
Well, that's a first. I don't think I've ever heard Russell speak any Afrikaans.
Catch. Fine.
Oh, very neatly done.
Set.
Here's Tim van Rensburg. Wants a quick ball from the scrum. He's not going to get it, but he's got a penalty. That scrum deliberately wheeled by Paarl Roos.
has to help you. Walking around.
Oh, Robbie Rogers being penalised for walking around. Of course, Robbie Rogers' dad, Heinrich, then you'll remember, played 4 tests for South Africa. 125 games for the Bulls, as Paarl boys haven't found touch. And neither has Volata.
Du Plessis. Well, that was forward too, I thought. Du Plessis done neatly, set up the next phase. I think that's one of the key things, Gareth, for Paarl boys high, is that they do get a little bit more possession in the second half. I think that's got to be a key to a potential victory for them. So it goes a little wider this time. And that's not a good kick, that from Quinn Horn.
Oh, been a plethora of errors from both sides in the opening 3 or so minutes of the second half, as a replacement has come onto the field for Paarl Roos, and it is Ruben Labuschagne who's replaced Tiaan Pretorius in the number 22 jersey.
The long pass there, Brendan Venter, and now Mostert. He's looked full of running at fly half. He's still going. Been a real danger in this match. He's been well served by Zander Boerta. Man caught in position there was Robbie Rogers. He set up the next phase. Some strong running there from Herman Hines. Here they come. Paarl Roos charging forward. Fantastic play there.
No hands!
This time it was Callum van der Merwe who's taken it in. Now they've got men aplenty lined up here. The long pass from Venter. Can they get over in the corner? Yep, I think they're going to make it. The finish comes from Volata.
Well, what a flowing movement from the home side, and it's that man again, Cade Volata, who's got his name on the score sheet. But some wonderful interplay between Herman Haynes and JJ Kotza. A strong run by the hooker. Got rid of one, got rid of two, and then barreled over Reese du Plessis. Quick ball for Paarl Roos. Good passing from Venter, and from the number 6 flanker, Jared Cairns. And Volata was on the end of a swift movement that has put his side now into a comfortable lead.
Well, last year's result was 21 points to 9 the other way round to Paarl Boys High, courtesy of 2 fantastic tries in the second half by Eric Mayberg. The Paarl Boys High had to work really hard for that victory. Today, they've got even more work to do. It's been the Volata show. 3 great penalties from him. 1 conversion from the touchline. And another conversion from the touchline. Brilliant play that.
Well, quick ball. Paarl Boys didn't fold quick enough. Spun through the hands, and Volata got on the outside of Carlu Ace in for a well-deserved try and a wonderful touchline conversion to boot. And now Paarl Roos are in a healthy lead. 15 points to the good.
Well, for the second time, that hasn't gone the prescribed 10 meters. So the failings of Paarl Boys High in the second half have been basic errors.
Yeah, then, come.
And Kian Meaden, I've never understood the thought process behind a right-footed kicker kicking to the open side of his body. Surely go with a natural swing. Stick it into the bottom left-hand corner. Of course, you've got Volata, you've got Zander Botha, and you've got Mossie Mostert, who are all right-footers. And try pin them right foot to right touchline.
I tried that trick once with John Williams at Springbok Trials, and he said, sorry, you've got to kick it my side. And my side is exactly the opposite of what you want to do. so the lock forwards are making the calls there, not the fly half.
Well, some good positional play by Mossie Mostert, just pinning Paarl Boys back in their own half as we see Silverstone's afternoon come to 13, an afternoon, and he's replaced by Van der Sant.
Off, sub. 13. Off, 13.
Going to be another change here. Regan van der Westhuizen's going to leave the park for... Sivertson is going to leave the park, as you heard from Gareth Wright. He didn't seem a little bit reluctant to leave. But the change is being brought about now to try and reverse the current situation.
Move!
Where Paarl Roos looking very comfortable.
12 and 13.
Well, I think the captain of Paarl Boys High, Adrian Alberts, has really got to talk to his team here. They've got to cut down on their errors, get their scrum sorted out, and play in the Paarl Roos half of the field.
Well, Meaden needs to settle his nerves and have a good touch finder here. And he's got it in just over the halfway line, but it's been an error-ridden second half from the visitors, Paarl Boys. Very unaccustomed to the men from Paarl.
Lots of work here for JJ Kotza.
Tackle!
He's done it really well.
Step.
Oh, Mink Shrink staying on his feet, driving for a great leg drive there from the lock forward. Mostert looking for space once again. There's Venter. Good work from Venter. Also got through the first tackle, and I think there's some guilt here from Paarl Boys. Are they not making those first-time tackles?
Turnover's good. Good turnover. No hands, 5.
But to their credit, a great turnover and an important one for them too. Well, the old boys are in full voice on both sides, and it's yet another penalty to Paarl Boys High.
Well, Henry Jacobs been penalised for putting his hands past the ball at the breakdown and trying to scoop it back. Paarl Boys need to add some tempo to this second half. They've looked laborious in their efforts. They need to keep the ball alive. That's a tap and go, spin it east and west, and they've done exactly that.
Well, they've got pace with people like Du Plessis, who can open up things as well for Quinn Horn. And some strong running there initially from Bjorn van der Sant, the replacement. But again, they've given away possession.
Well, the thought process was bang on from Kian Meaden, the tap and go, but van der Sant criminally carrying the ball in the wrong hand and just been bundled over the outline.
Please. Go
And the promising movement has come to naught.
Oh.
So Kotze now, shorter line out that he's got. And the jumper is Daniel Swart, but all a little bit of a mess that for Paul Roos. Paarl Boys High. Good work from Van der Merwe. And quick ball from the breakdown was what they needed.
Thank you.
Taken forward by Alberts. Nathan Besaidnout, the last carrier. Oh, can they find a way through here? Can they play it wider? There's the little chip kick from Meaden. Which way does it bounce? Oh, favorably so for Remy Engelbrecht. Now have a look at this. He's going to take a quick little drop. Which way does it bounce? Oh, it's gone into touch. Oh dear. He might have scored one of the most sensational tries of the season with a favorable bounce.
Well, did he have a drop kick, but good reading of the play by Kian Meaden. Brilliant work by Remy Engelbrecht doing the mopping up work. Now, does he drop it? Yeah. Well, you be the judge at home. It just rolls over the outline and Paarl Boys go again.
Again, here's some strong work from Van der Merwe. The two hookers today have had exceptional games in terms of carrying the ball. And it's a penalty to Paul Roos. The ball held on the deck by Paarl Boys High, finding themselves in an awkward position with not enough support.
Oh, splendid work at the breakdown by Regan van der Westhuizen.
You must go. We're playing on. Yeah.
As he's received a bit of clarity around that left eye of his for his
playing
efforts.
on. Running time. We're playing on. Let's go.
Mostert, that's a brilliant kick downfield. He's got them virtually up to the 22 again. And once again, Paul Roos with an opportunity to strike.
Well, Adrian Alberts trucked it up and his support cleaners were just far too slow in moving Van der Westhuizen from that breakdown. And again, Paul Roos find themselves inside the half of Paarl Boys.
So Twitter onto big Henry Jacobs. Again, Twitter onto the other prop, Robbie Rogers. Got two chunks for legs, just like his father.
Archer. Run away!
Jacobs. Well, there's so many tackles having to be made by Paarl Boys High against some very big men. He has a drop opportunity for Mostert.
Touched!
Not his best kick of the season.
Scrum. Touch.
Now that ball's been taken back, so it's going to be a scrum here to Paul Roos. And very basic error there by Paarl Boys High.
Well, Jean Mostert will be breathing a sigh of relief. It was a horrendous effort at a drop goal from 30 or so meters out. However, there was a fingertip on it, and Paarl Boys were not listening to the calling of Rashta Rashavenga, and they've won a scrum on the 5-meter line. I must say, Gavin, the front row of Paul Roos have really been outstanding this afternoon.
Chance for a try. That's how close they are. Zunderwood are getting very, very close in. It's another charge, and it's another try.
And it is Matthew Cordy who's got in for the third of the afternoon. after yet again another strong scrum. It was a sniping break from Zander Botha. And good work from Botha. In fact, it looks like it's Mink Sharink who's got in.
Thank you.
The pick and go, the pillar moved off at the critical moment, and Sharink showed enough power and strength to burst through for the home side's third try of the afternoon. Oh, you feel if Voliter knocks us over, the floodgates could just crack open here for the home side. We've put them 22 points to the good with 20 minutes to play.
Well, amazingly, they've averaged 58 points per match this season. Have Paarl Roos, been a great season for them. And it's been a good kicking season too for this man, Voliter.
Mink Sharink credited with the 5-pointer. Paarl boys shifted off Evan Roos, who's had a really good game, along with the winger Carl, who just couldn't get under Sharink, and he's in for try number 3. Voliter, well, he's had a red letter day with a boot, 3 conversions, 3 penalties and a try.
That's good work as well there from Matthew Cordy, just enabling and creating a little bit of space for his team. Seen a lot of carries too from Henry Jacobs in this game. Voliter. Botha, a little pop pass there to Herman Hines.
Up 18.
It looked so dangerous with the ball in hand, have Paarl Roos. Happy to use those forwards that Gareth Wright was talking about just now. They've been very much part of their mix.
Tackle! Knee on
Venter
the
caught in
ground.
position.
Step, step,
But
step.
good clean out as well from the forwards, enabling a little bit of space to be created. Now, having to make tackles against men the size of this ball carrier is certainly very, very draining. And especially when it's carried through like
Advantage.
8 phases at the moment, into the 9th
Diving
phase,
straight on the play on the floor.
and another penalty.
Diving straight on the play on the floor. You can't dive on the play on the floor.
Oh, this time it's Emil van Heerden who's been penalised. Poor acknowledgement of the laws, diving straight on Remy Engelbrecht. And Mostert will try to put this as close as he can to the 5-metre line.
Yeah, I think they've decided it's a little bit of payback time, have Paarl Roos, after the successes of Paarl Boys High over the years. They're not going to kick a goal, they want to pursue a try. And maybe even more than one try. Daniel Swart with the catch.
Sack's good.
No problem with the sack from Paarl Boys High, says the referee.
It's a ruck, not a maul. It was a sack going forward. It was a sack.
That's well described. So the players clearly understand. As the
It's not a
attacking
maul,
team was
it's a
going forward,
legitimate
it was a
sack
ruck, so
going
in
forward.
other words, the ball was on the ground.
We'll just have a look at the versatility of Paarl Roos. A number of weeks ago we had Mink Sharink, as we see the sack coming in, and clearly explained by Rasha Wenger. Mink Sharink played in the tight head position, so the versatility amongst this pack of Paarl Roos is something to behold, and hence they are at the summit of the schools rankings in South Africa.
Also their energy, Gareth, the energy we've seen from their tight forwards has been pretty special. Now can we see a counter here somewhere along the line?
Advantage over.
Du Plessis needs a little bit of space to crack on the afterburners.
Stop was good.
Well, another turnover.
Hold the ball. Hold the ball. Hold the ball. Hold the
Good
ball.
work from Daniel Swart. Once again, Paarl Boys are on the back foot. Now the tight forwards of Paarl Roos have been exceptional in this game. Strong work there from Regan van der Westhuizen.
Turnover's good. Leave it red
Well,
now.
another
Leave it
turnover.
red.
Great work this from Paarl Boys High.
Leave it.
Now he's searching for that relief from Eastern van Rensburg. Oh, Paarl Boys High, or rather Paarl Roos in the form of
Knee on the
Labuschagne.
deck.
Well, despite the fact that they're meeting some fairly big tackles from Paarl boys, are they holding on to the ball? Paarl Roos, and now the charge downfield from Westhuizen. And the man brought down there was Remy Engelbrecht. Assistant referee's flag is up, so it will be a line out to Paarl Roos. And here come the replacements.
Yeah, 3 of them at the moment coming on for Paarl boys, as we see the inside centre, Nathan Besadenhout, making way.
Yep.
Now the lock van Heerden for the man in the number 19 jersey, JC Ludhoff, has come on.
So last throw of the dice, one feels in a way from Sean Erasmus, the coach of Paarl Boys High. One's got to admire their pluck though, Paarl Boys High. They're certainly not giving up. Kian Meaden, important kick for him too, to make sure he gets it out and allow his line out to get operative.
It was a poor delivery from the lock, Daniel Swart, that compounded the issues, and good work by Paarl boys at the breakdown.
Van der Merwe over the top was just all
out,
about timing, but they've managed to wrestle the free kick. Xavier Farmer also on for Paarl Boys High. He's the man now in possession.
Leave it now, Red.
A lot of the rugby has been played in the Paarl Boys High half of the field. They need to make that change. I suppose the big question is just how do they do that? And the starting point is making sure that you are holding on to the ball, which they haven't done on this occasion. Henry Jacobs. What a busy afternoon has Henry Jacobs. That's a great kick into space. Once again, they on the back foot are Paarl Boys High. And good decision taking by these men.
But you just look at the Paarl boys attack. They've been bereft of ideas. They've just tried to shovel it laterally. Paarl Roos have manned up. They've met them at the contact point, and the turnovers have really counted against the visitors. As we see Cullen van der Merwe trying to find Alberts yet again.
Well, 11 visits to the 22 of Paarl Boys High in favour of Paarl Roos. And that's a big statistic. Du Plessis, the little grubber kick. He can't play that ball, Brendan Fenter. He has the acute rugby knowledge to understand that. He would have been offside. So replacements called in, JC Ludhoff on that occasion to bring the fresh energy. But a penalty to Paarl Roos.
Jared Cairns again at the breakdown. There've probably been about 5 or 6 breakdown penalties that Paarl Roos have won. What they've done effectively, they've beaten the cleaner from the inside, and they've managed to get their hands on the ball. And they are now going for the jugular, not with a kick like that, but he's got it out. And they're looking to extend this lead on the home side, Paarl Roos. Again, it is Cairns who gets himself into a good position. He's not been moved off the ball, and hence the penalty going the way of his side.
One out.
So Kotz's throw into Jacobs. Very well read. Training ground ploy maybe. And again, it's a huge threat to the Boys High line. Players are plenty. Here comes the drive. Matthew Cordy, is he the try scorer? Well, pick it up now.
Well, this time it's Matthew Cordy who's got in for try number 4 for the Maroon Machine. And it was a well-worked move at line-out time. Kotzer found Jacobs, who got over the gain line, and then Cordy ran a strong line, swiveled in the tackle. He's allowed a place, and he's over the try line, and Matthew Cordy has got the 4th try for the home side. And a mere tap over for the impressive Cade Volata. 6 from 7 He's really kicked with aplomb this afternoon.
Well, 29 points, the difference then.
Look at the line run by Cordy, short of Fenter. Hard line on the inside shoulder of Farmer. Kept pumping the legs, got over the whitewash. He's allowed to place, and 5 points going the way of Matthew Cordy.
That's a better kick in, isn't it? Something they haven't got right during the course of this day on every occasion. That position coming the way of the men in maroon. They've had a surfeit of position in this match, and they've used it so effectively. It's been very much a team effort from them too. We've seen some great work from their forwards. Backs have relished the opportunity of quality possession. Roman Haynes
Tackle!
setting up the next phase.
Nah, ball's available.
Oh, Fenter, the long pass. Opportunity on the right here for Engelbrecht. Back in field it come. Mostert couldn't take it. He's lost the boot in the process.
He lost the ball and his boot in his attempt to catch that chip kick from Remy Engelbrecht. Of course, he was in doubt before the game. Engelbrecht decided to put it on to boot, and Mostert just couldn't hold on to it.
So can somehow Paarl Boys High get some points? They've got 0 points in the second half.
And if you think about how their second half started, the start of the restart didn't go 10 meters from Kian Eden, and then it was Estienne van Rensburg who hoiked it into touch.
Number 1.
And their woes were just compounded from there on in.
10, you got to be 10. Go back 10,
They went
please.
back 10 meters were Paarl Roos on that occasion. The penalty count certainly mounting. 15 in the match at this point
10,
in time. Paarl Boys High have certainly had their fair share of that too. And Paarl Roos playing very, very close to the line on occasions.
Well, there's a possession stat, 59-41, and it tells the tale on the scoreboard. Territory, well, 52-48, pretty much even in this contest, but it's the points that have really gone the way of the home side.
Yeah, plus those 3 penalties in the first half from Voliter to there's a counter-attacking opportunity now from the self-same Kate Voliter.
Let it come now, step last.
So when they've had possession, they haven't always held on to it, Paarl Boys High. Hasn't Henry Jacobs really enjoyed the opportunity of a run around today too, with lots of ball. Now here comes Mostert. Can he make something of this? Oh, that's a little drastic ankle tap on that occasion there.
Tackle now, let
from
it come.
Quinn Horn. But still they come in the form of Jacobs.
No hands! Leave it now!
Zanderbuerta. He's really had a field day at scrum half as Zanderbuerta. A lovely angle of running here from Remy Engelbrecht. And still they come, charging for the line. It's hard to bring this man down. It's Cullen van der Merwe. JJ Kotze rather, not Cullen van der Merwe.
Well, just reward for the captain, JJ Kotze. He has certainly spearheaded this Paarl Roos juggernaut. The pick and go. Look at the strength in the man's legs. He gets rid of Alberts, keeps pumping those legs, and he's in for the 5th try, a real captain's try. And now, you wouldn't bet on Paarl Roos etching up to 50 points in this contest.
You spoke about the floodgates opening a little bit earlier, Gareth, and certainly that seems to have been the case. It's been very one-sided in the second half, but give credit to Paarl Roos. Wonderfully led captain by JJ Kotze, and just reward that he gets a try too, because the work of the forwards has been quite special. So 3 tries then from the forwards in the second half. Sharink Cordy and JJ Kotza. And Volata looking to keep up that wonderful kicking record of the day and the season. There she goes again.
Well, 24 points off the boot of Kate Volata has put Paarl Roos into a 44-8 lead, and some yeoman work done by JJ Kotza in for his try, the 5th of the afternoon.
Yeah, nobody wants 50 points scored against them, and
More!
Paarl Boys have really got to do their thing. Got to make sure that they get their hands in some possession. But here comes Engelbrecht, flying down the line. Remy Engelbrecht, can he do the little outside? Back in field it goes. Look at the support play from Paarl Roos. They're all up there, desperate for another try. Jacobs.
Turnover's
Enormous
good.
number of tackles in this second half being made by Paarl Boys High, but they've won a penalty.
Well, you have to doff your cap to Reece du Plessis. Did brilliantly on defence here as Paarl Boys decide to tap and go from deep inside their own half.
Good work there from D'Andre Deschenard. But they've got to attack from deep, yeah, do Paarl Boys High.
Tackle!
They don't want to kick, I guess. Vanamava. Can they find a hole somewhere along the line? It might have to be out wide. Van Horn unable to really make much progress, but he's done well. Boys High with a player down at the moment. Still they continue. Some good rucking, counter-rucking from Paarl Roos, and they've won a penalty
Playing it on the ground
as a result of
get
that.
up on your feet. But on your feet, you can't push it back. It's a counter-ruck.
Oh, Jean Mostert now looking to rub salt into the proverbial wound as he's decided to pursue with the line out. He's asking an awful amount of his pack to maul it from 20-odd meters. Well, Regan van der West has hammered Reece du Plessis off the ball. And
8. Where's 8?
it'll be Matthew Cordy who will make way. And he's had a really strong game this afternoon as the big number 8 as JJ Kotza is looking to find Cairns. It's off the top, straight down to Fenter. Finds Volata looking for width. Paarl Roos has Mostert. Takes it in. Looking for a quick ball. Oh, Paarl Roos. Good pick up from Fenter. Route 1. And numbers wide as Rogers and Jacobs working in tandem yet again. As Paarl Boys wrap their hands around Jacobs, still on the side of Paarl Roos. This time it's a knock-on. Turnover ball for those in blue and white. Back to
advantage, 18 offside.
Van Wyk looking to spin it through the hands as Reece van Wyk. Reece du Plessis got hammered in the tackle, but offside play by Paarl Roos. And Gideon van Wyk, Kian Meaden should just tap it and go. Have a crack, and he duly obliges. Spun through the hands to Cullen Vanamava. And he's been held up by Cairns now. Tackle called by the referee. Plug in the blind side. And Vanamava has dropped an absolute dolly. And that typifies their afternoon. It's been a calamitous second half by the visitors. Paarl Boys High just taking his Milford at that critical moment. And this will be a final opportunity now for the home side, Paarl Roos, to get another try on the board. They've been full value for their 36-point advantage.
Fine.
And
Set.
over the last 5 years, they haven't seen much success of those in maroon, but they'll be certainly celebrating long into the evening. As we see Gerry Kluter, who's on in that number 9 position in the 21 jersey. Oh, he's got a blind side to work with, but Remy Engelbrecht's come across to
Fine.
the open side in behind the centres. You just wonder what they're going to conjure up here. They've got Voliter at fly half in the first receiver position. Through to Fenter, the wraparound to Engelbrecht. Looking for a runner
Advantage.
in Mostert, but it's another knock-on. As it's taken to
That's
ground.
holding on there. Lost forward here.
And no advantage. And that's all she wrote by Rasta Rashavenga. And Paarl Roos have eventually got one over their formidable neighbours, Paarl boys, and they've certainly put them to the sword. 5 tries to 1 in a pulsating Premier Schools encounter, and it is the home side, Paarl Roos, who've come away victorious by defeating their neighbours down the road, Paarl Boys High, by 44 points to 8.